What does the future mean to you? Anybody? Go ahead.
Well, I'm not going to college because mainly I didn't have the right subjects. So, as far as I know, I'm going into the service. Try and pick up an education in the Air Force.
In other words, then your solution for your education is going to be in the Army. It wasn't in the schools.
That's right.
Dave?
Well, I don't think I'm going to be going to college because, well, my marks haven't been quite up to par. I want to go out west, way out west, and
You're liable to be sent out there.
You must be a
I want to go out and be a plain, ordinary dirt farmer and get my living from the soil. I like it a lot. I think I'm suited for it.
How about the rest of you?
Well, I'd like to go into business administration, possibly sales engineering if possible. I'm interested in meeting and talking with people, and I think that's my interest right now.
Barbara?
By the time you graduate high school, you're only about 18 or 19 years old. And personally, I don't think anyone is actually ready to go out and face life. I mean, not that you're not ready to face life, but if you go and, as most kids who graduate at 18, a lot of them go out and get married within a year or two, and there you are. You're all set up for life. That's the way you've got to live. And you haven't any further education, and that's the only preparation you're going to have. And you, as far as I can see, most people stay around this vicinity wherever they're living, and that's the way they're going to be for the rest of their lives.
Well, in other words, this early marriage business, you can't see
I
that.
definitely feel that way.
This is what you've been brought up for.
That's right.
To get married?
At our
To
age?
get married. I mean, the greatest thing in the world, I think, is to have children.
Miles.
Miles, I don't... how do you know all this, Miles?
I just watch people and the way they're way towards children, the way they bring up children, different ways. And it's, I think it's the best thing in the world because we had to be brought up too. I mean,
I don't think you should mix marriage and a career. If you're going to go to college and have a career and then decide to get married, I mean, after all, it's not fair to your husband, or even if you had children, it's not fair to mix a career up, to be out of the house
What do you
all the
say should
time.
be done? In other words, if you have a career, don't marry.
Well, no,
That's
not
what
all
she's
the time.
saying.
It depends on the kind of career you have.
Well, give me, for instance, Sheila, I want to know these things.
It would be something that would keep you away all day. I mean, what's the use of having children?
What if a woman is talented and she has something to offer, and that don't you think that it's really her duty to give something to society, that she should really help society?
I think it's just as much her duty to take care of her children.
I believe also if you have children, you should stay home with them.
Oh,
But I'm speaking that I feel that when you're 18, that you're not ready just to go out and end up getting married. I think marriage is the final thing that you should be looking forward to. And by going to college, you prepare for this also.
Many of you, even when, as far as you know, are definitely going to college. May I see a show of hands, please? Okay? How many of you would like to go, but because of financial reasons, let us say, are not going? That's 3 more. And how many of you are not going to college? Now, this is interesting because of this reason. During our conference meetings, we've been taking test after test after test. And these tests have proved conclusively now. And when I say tests, I mean intelligence tests, tests that will show your mathematical abilities, your scientific aptitudes, whether you would be good in other types of fields. There's not one of you who has an IQ lower than 120. You have the aptitudes, you have the abilities. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a journalist, you can even be a teacher. It's all over now. Nevertheless, we have here a group of 9, and only 3 are going to college. And if this were just Harding High that was involved, then the problem would be a minor one. But the point is this trend is all over the country. In other words, in the average high school in the United States, only 1/3 of those who should go to college do go to college. Now, what is the reason for this waste? And I think that we have to consider that it is a waste.
Mr. Snyder, why, if there's just education in college so much, really, why does it have to be so expensive?
I think that the fault is with the public, because they take the responsibility for education through high school, even though they may not want to, but they don't realize that it's necessary for them to take the responsibility for education through college for the people who are qualified and the people who need it. They want to have a better society, but they're not willing to do anything about it in giving education. They want to go ahead and build more rockets and all this, but they're not willing to do anything about it.
You can't avoid the fact that scholars, the people that want to go to school today, the demand is much more than the actual facilities of college, and the colleges have to broaden their facilities, because the students today, more and more are graduating from high school, and more are demanding a college education, and it's true that the colleges just can't supply it.
I want to answer Sheila's question.
I told you, I don't know definitely what I want to be. But maybe after being out for a year or so, I might decide.
Do you think that just doing nothing, all of a sudden one day something's going to pop right into your
No,
head?
you go to a job and then maybe you don't like it, that kind of job.
But you can't try out every job. If you just
No, I know that.
But if you went to college, in college you could take different courses that are related to different fields. And then it would give you, you get a broader knowledge of all the different fields just by sitting around. You can't try out all the jobs, and all of a sudden you're not going to...
No, I know that, but how definitely now can you say what you want to be right now?
I don't know what I want to be, but I'm still going to college.
Bonnie,
What?
which would you rather, go to college and have the trial and error method there, wasting your money, or get out in the world?
But David, you're saying that college is wasting money. Anything you learn, when you learn something, is that waste?
Well, not if you're not going to use it for your future.
But how can you tell
way of
what
life.
you're going... Everything you learn, you always have to use. You always use what you learn.
What's waste, Dave? I wish you'd explain
Well,
that to me.
Now, say a person wanted to go into liberal arts, and they went to a liberal arts college, and they got to their junior year, and then, well, if it was a fella, say he decided to become an engineer. Those liberal arts really wouldn't help him in his occupation or his career.
David, if you were going to be a baseball player, would you take just baseball during you'd take baseball during college and you wouldn't learn anything else?
I would, because the reason I'd take baseball was to make myself so proficient in that field.
Then what if you broke a leg?
Well,
Then you wouldn't know anything else.
That's not the point.
Yes,
Well, I don't know.
Yes, it is. Very good point.
Well, if that's the case, what's liberal arts going to get you when you're halfway through college and you leave it off for something else, and then you break a leg in that field? What do you do then?
Dave, you're just talking about material gain. You're not talking about just for learning, the sake of learning. Is that wrong? I don't think that that's waste.
That's right, because you can, for materialistic things, they can be taken away from a person, but anything you learn, that's yours. No one can take that away from you.
Just what does liberal arts do? I mean, what is the field of liberal arts? I mean, we all don't know what it is. It's just one big thing.
To take courses in science and literature and languages, mathematics. You sample every different field. It's not really specializing.
I think, Norma, that it contributes actually to a person as a human being. In other words, it's a person as a living person, not just concentrating as you're suggesting, Dave. I think that we concentrate, right? You're going to be a farmer, and all you're interested in is dirt farming and nothing else, right? And this is your attitude, that there isn't anything else that you have to know. This is what you're saying.
Well, tell me this, what good is it going to do you to know that you know all about Shakespeare and his contemporaries? It doesn't get you anything. It doesn't get anybody any enjoyment, because I know for a fact that 99% of the students hate Shakespeare.
You hit me right here.
You're just talking about yourself, Dave. You're assuming that everybody else hates Shakespeare. You're talking... Why don't you say, I don't? Why don't you say, I don't like Shakespeare? Don't say that 99% of the students don't like Shakespeare.
Don't everybody say that anyhow?
No, I enjoy Shakespeare very well.
The point is I don't...
This is news to me.